We have breaking news out of Kansas City as shots were fired after the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade. Today, here, we're going to give you the latest news and basically what we know right now. No speculation, just kind of break down the latest details from KC Police and a couple of reactions from some players. But let's kind of start with the first report of this coming from the KC Police saying that shots have been fired around Union Station. Please leave the area. Now, this was tweeted out at around 2:02 p.m. Want to make an emphasis here. This was after the Super Bowl parade. The festivities had pretty much concluded. Everybody was on their way out of the area when this incident occurred. We then continued to get updates throughout there, and KC Police just about 10 minutes later said shots were fired west of Union Station as they officially got the location near the garage, and multiple people were struck. We took 2 armed people into custody for more investigation. So this comes from the official report of KC Police, but obviously everything kind of starts going at a fast pace. We don't know what fully is true. We had this tweeted out from Marcus Officer just a couple of moments later saying one person has in fact died and at least 9 people hurt in shooting in downtown Kansas City. And his statement is that KCPD have 3 people in custody. Do want to kind of verbalize there has been one person on social media videotaped going away in handcuffs. Not going to speculate about it. That's just what we've seen. Don't know what that means. Could be precautionary. That's kind of all we know. But obviously, conflicting reports here from KC Police. Obviously, want to trust the official account. But Marcus Officer giving us this information and just a tragic event. Honestly, prayers to everybody who has been injured, and hopefully this can all be resided by Kansas City Police in the next couple moments. Now, they continue on to say, as we get updates throughout here, just a couple minutes after that, the police did request witnesses of the shooting to please go to the southwest corner of Pershing and Main, and obviously want to go down there just to help kind of make sure that everybody is accounted for in this situation, and that the reports of this are all from eyewitnesses, as reports just continue to kind of go in here and kind of talk about what exactly went down. Again, this is really new here, so we're just trying to get the best we can of what we actually know right now. Now, Dia Wall also had a tweet coming out saying that KC Police confirmed 10 shooting victims today. To their extent of the injuries, we don't officially know. Obviously, we have that one report of one person dying. Multiple children are being treated at Children's Mercy Hospital. Now, obviously, want to talk about the children here because there is a child reunification situation going on. Obviously, when this happened, chaos broke out around Union Station. People kind of started flying around everywhere, running out of park. And so, obviously, that the reunification stations right now are in the area at 231 in Main and inside the main entrance of Union Station. We do have an update on this, though, as KC Police said the main reunification station, and in fact, only one right now, is going to be inside of Union Station. So honestly, just initial thoughts here, just a heinous act on what was supposed to be a celebratory day. This was supposed to be a good thing, and unfortunately, it's another case of just things that can happen and things that can kind of go wrong. And it's just kind of hard to sit here and talk about it in a limelight way because obviously this was supposed to be a great day. This was parade day. Everybody was excited. Everybody was happy. And up until that time, the parade went great. Players were having fun, but ultimately it just kind of turned tragic all of a sudden. And again, the reports are just still kind of flooding in, so we're just trying to get you the latest things right now and just everything that we can see on social media. Obviously, we're not there, so we can't get you the full details, but everything that we know, we are going to give you in the latest details, breaking down. Once again, here's the report from Marcus Officer saying that one person has died and at least 9 people are hurt. Now, that does coincide with a couple other reports of saying that there have been 10 victims and that KC Police, this one saying 3 people in custody, others saying there are 2 people in custody. Want to remind you, there has been a video of one man walking away in handcuffs in a red jumpsuit. Don't exactly know, again, the extent of that, what that means, if that person, what was the guy or what. We truly just don't know. Again, we're just trying to give you the facts. I do want to reiterate, this was after the Super Bowl parade. This was not while the parade was going on. This was not during the parade, not during the speeches. This was after all the festivities had ended. That being said, though, the players were a part of leaving that area. we did get an update from the VP of operations in terms of medical with Rick Berhalter, VP sports medicine, excuse me, saying that his wife and along with Coach Reed and his family are all safe and on a bus headed to Arrowhead. So do have that accounted for from the VP of sports medicine there, Rick Burkholder. Good to know there, Coach Reed getting away safely. Obviously, you worry about him just because he's older gentleman. You want to make sure that he gets away safely, and obviously, big shout out to KC Police. I think Rick said it perfectly. From all the reports I am hearing, it sounds like the KC Police have done a fantastic job with this situation. Obviously, it's one that you never expect to be in, but from reports from James Palmer, who was in the area, from Nick Wright, everybody who was in that area at Union Station, all of them continue to say that the KC Police were extraordinary in their efforts to continually help protect and serve the community, along with just making sure that everything is checked for. Obviously, a situation that you are in some ways prepared for, but at the same time, you can never prepare for such a heinous act, and especially on such a day that was really supposed to be a celebration of what the Chiefs have done, all the things that they accomplished this year. And eventually, though, we have kind of gotten up to 3:01 here with Kelly Meyer talking about 10 gunshots is what it sounded like. Fireworks from eyewitnesses. Now, this was just a couple of minutes ago, saying saw blood and a makeshift tarp over someone. So not exactly the greatest thing to hear. People are running, still bringing in EMTs. Again, this was just a couple of minutes ago. And then Kelly Myers again follows up saying still snipers on top of the hotel across the road from the Westin where he is. This is bad. This is bad, bad. So I honestly just don't know what to say to you right now. Obviously, we want to try and make sure you are updated and informed on everything going on, but it's just a heinous act, and I cannot stress enough how an act of violence like this is just unacceptable and just very much in some ways just not what we should be talking about today. It should be talking about the great parade, everything that happened, the positives of the Chiefs season. Instead, we're talking about what happened after the parade and just the unfortunate things that happened. Again, want to reiterate, child reunification services are happening inside Union Station. If that applies to you, definitely that's where you're going to want to go. Go try and reunite. That's the one station they have now taken away. They said at first it was around 2301 Main along with Union Station. Now they have just said to Union Station. They also do request that if you were a witness to go to Pershing and Main. It's very important right now to make sure that everybody who was there can get statements in. Obviously, it's a big thing in terms of trying to make sure that everybody is accounted for. And ultimately, they want to make sure that the people who were responsible for this are taken into custody because that's what they deserve. This is an absolute heinous act that cannot go unnoticed and that will need to be addressed by not only KC Police, but in some notions, the world. So we'll kind of have to see and keep the updates coming, but the kind of limelight of this is, and I'm not trying to make positive of such a horrible thing, but Drew Tranquil kind of says it better than anybody else, bringing people together, and I think that's exactly what we can do right now. Drew Tranquil saying, please join me in prayer for all the victims in this heinous act. Pray that doctors and first responders would have steady hands and that all would experience full healing. So Drew Tranquil responded to this, and then Patrick Mahomes also 2 minutes ago tweets this out saying, praying for Kansas City. So it's an unfortunate situation. Obviously, same as Drew Tranquil and Patrick Mahomes said, prayers for this situation. That's the updates we have right now, and just an unfortunate situation all around. Prayers to everybody in Kansas City, and a huge shout out real quick to KC Police for handling this swiftly and as safely as they possibly could. We appreciate this. This is all the updates we have for you at this time, and we'll be back tomorrow with a better video, hopefully.